All right, guys, let's review some formula mass here. If you looked at the little note set that I shared you, it goes over some steps for determining formula mass. Okay, the first thing you have to do is look at the compound you're given. Let's do number one together. We're looking at sodium oxide, so you have to write the chemical formula for this first, and you have to make sure all of your chemical formulas are correct, otherwise your formula mass will not be correct. Now remember that the formula mass is just the mass of the compound based on the elements that make it up. So if I'm looking at sodium oxide, the first thing I have to do, because this is a metal with a nonmetal, it's an ionic compound, I have to look at its ions, and so sodium makes a single 1+, and oxide stands for oxygen, which makes a 2-. Now remember, in our crossover method, the charge of one ion becomes the subscript for the next, and vice versa. So you have this crisscrossing method. So sodium oxide's chemical formula would be Na2O. Now that you know the formula here, you can determine the mass. Because for sodium, I am going to have 2 times the mass of a single sodium atom, which if you're looking on your periodic table, you would find is 22.990. So if I do 2 times 22.990, I get 45.98. And just like I did with sodium, I'm going to do this with my oxygen. Now there's only one of those, so it's only going to be whatever the atomic mass is from the periodic table for oxygen, which is 15.999. So I'm now simply going to add these two here together to get the formula mass for sodium oxide. So I take my 45.98 and I add it to my 15.999, and I find that sodium oxide has a formula mass of 61.979 AMU, or grams per mole. So you have to understand that the formula mass tells us our mole to gram ratio or relationship for that compound. So 1 mole of sodium oxide would have 61.979 grams. And now we can do some conversions. Just kidding, I'm just going to let you finish the rest of this worksheet. I will happily tell you in this video what each of the chemical formulas are, and then we'll tell you the answer, because if you cannot show me the work, you will not get credit. So here we go. Sodium chloride is Na for sodium, Cl for chlorine. That is not what that says. It says hydroxide. Just kidding. I should probably read the problem. So it's NaOH. So this is a 1-to-1-to-1 relationship. Good luck. Magnesium hydroxide is Mg, and now the OH here is going in parentheses because there would be a 2 outside. Remember that a number outside of parentheses multiplies through to what is inside. And boy. Ammonium phosphate's a big one, NH4 in parentheses with a 3 outside, and then PO4. And again, when it comes to parentheses, this subscript here multiplies through to only what is inside, does not apply to anything after. Ammonium acetate, NH4, C2, H3, O2. No parentheses needed here. Lead 2 acetate is Pb parentheses C2H3O2 and end parenthesis with a 2 outside. Just going to be moving down the worksheet again, looking at my tin 4 phosphate is SN3 and in parentheses PO4 with a 4 on the outside. Chromium 3 dichromate is CR2 parentheses CR2O7 end parentheses with a 3 outside. And then we have aluminum sulfate, so Al2 and open parentheses SO4 3. Now, these two right here are not ionic compounds. You know that because it says something like penta and tri, di and mono. So these are molecular compounds, and so we are going to write the letters for the element, and what the number they have is based on this prefix. So phosphorus is P, penta means 5. Sulfide stands for sulfur, and tri means 3. Hydrogen is an H, di means 2. Oxide is an oxygen, mono means 1. And then right back into some ionic compounds here. 4 copper chlorate. Here is copper 2, so Cu, and then open parentheses ClO3 and parenthesis 2. Those are all of the appropriate chemical formulas for each of these compounds. Hopefully, if you didn't get those right, you could correct the work now you're going to do to calculating the formula mass for each of these. I gave you the formula mass for sodium oxide. I'm going to tell you right now here that sodium hydroxide's formula mass is 39.997 grams. Magnesium hydroxide you should have gotten 58.319 grams. Ammonium phosphate, a lot to add together and has a larger mass, so 149.087 grams. And then ammonium acetate, this big long one right here, not quite as much mass with 77.083 grams. No. And lead 2 acetate. If you add them all together, we get 325.3 grams. We've got tin 4 phosphate at 736.010 grams. My chromium dichromate, a lot of chrome in there, 751.947 grams. And then aluminum sulfate. If you add it all together, you get 342.150 grams. For our molecular compounds, the pentaphosphorus trisulfide came out to be a 251.068 grams. And for our water molecule here, I got a total of 18.015 grams. Last but not least, our copper 2 chlorate with 230.446 grams. Now, again, in order for you to get credit for your work, I need to show what you did to get these answers. And if your answers are not matching up, look at your compounds. Did you get the formula correct? Because if not, I'll try to get you the rest of those. If not, correct your formula and try again. See if you can get the appropriate masses. Don't forget to show your work, please. I hope that's enough time for you to check out all your answers. Remember, this is a video, so you can pause, rewind, play back, do whatever it is you need to do to check your work. And that is all I've got for formula math today, folks. Remember your naming practice. Remember your formula writing. And if you need more practice with that, hit me up with an email and I will do what I can to help you out. Okie dokie. Have a good day.